to a new level. Hear from the very people that benefit from the fine work they have done in this field. Next Generation MD, every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, this is going to be a hard one for me, Robin. It's going to be a hard interview for me to do. I have a feeling this is going to be tough. I love cheese. You know what is my favorite cheese?
What?
American. Just plain old yellow American cheese.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We sometimes do music and they have wine and cheese.
Yes.
And there's all kinds of cheeses. And I like those cheeses too. However, maybe we're not supposed to be eating cheese. You know?
Oh.
If you think about it, cheese comes from an animal that was producing milk to feed a baby.
Yes.
Whether it's a baby cow or a baby goat or a baby buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not any of them.
Yeah.
Right? Neal Barnard has written this book, so I'm going to listen carefully because, you know, maybe I should. Mm-hmm. He's a clinical researcher, a health advocate, an adjunct associate professor of medicine at the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences. His credentials are amazing. The book is called, here you go, The Cheese Trap.
I love cheese.
How breaking a surprising addiction will help you lose weight, which I need to do, gain energy. I could do that in the afternoon sometimes. And get healthy. I'm pretty healthy, but I don't know. Let's find out. Neal, I'm going to have a hard time with this one. Good morning, sir. How are you? What an honor to have you on, by the way. Good morning.
Well, thank you. Good morning to you. It's great to be with you today.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from Washington, D.C.
My.
Do you ever go to a place where they say, would you like cheese on that?
Every place says that.
I know. I know. It's crazy. So, yeah. Your publicist is Donna, and Donna loves Subway.
Yes, she does.
And she once in a while she'll send us a gift card, and I will always say, "What kind of cheese would you like?" They always say, "I'll pick a cheese." So I should stop the cheese, huh?
Well, you know, we love cheese. Americans love cheese, but I'm sorry to say it doesn't love you back. When you look at the number, people think about why are we having trouble losing weight.
Yeah.
And people think of, well, maybe it's sugar or soda, and those are good ideas, except when you look at the numbers, soda consumption, and in fact sugar overall, has been dropping since 1999, when people started picking bottled water instead of soda. But cheese is going up, and so is our waistline. And let me give you a statistic.
Really?
The average
the
average American consumes 60,000 calories worth of cheese every year.
Wow.
Holy cow. Wow. And I'm not average. I'm not average.
But if we think about trying to lose weight ourselves, or we're worried about our kids who seem to be gaining weight and so forth, could it be that cheese consumption has been going up and up and up and up? It really started with fast food chains in the 60s and 70s, that a burger always had to have cheese added to it, and then pizza became a big thing. And, of course, pizza is not pizza unless it has 3/4 of an inch of yellow asphalt all over the top.
That's right.
Oh, man. I know.
Had that last night.
You know
what I'm talking about.
I know. And, here's the problem I'm having with this. I hear you, and I think you're right. I can't argue with you. I mean, obviously, first of all, because you've got so many more credentials than me. But I mean, just the gut feeling is, I bet you this is true.
Yeah. It's about 70% fat, very, very high in calories. But the other piece of this is, I don't know if you know people, or maybe you yourself have felt this way. You feel kind of hooked on it a little bit. So somebody says, "Don't eat that. It's fattening. It's loaded with calories." But we think, "I can't imagine life without cheese." And we do research studies where people come in. They've got weight problems, they have diabetes or whatever, and we put them on an entirely vegan diet, meaning no animal products at all.
This is what I want to hear. I want to hear this. Okay.
They do so well. They lose weight, their cholesterol falls, their diabetes improves. Sometimes it goes away. But you know what they'll say? They will say the one food that I'm really, really miss is cheese. And I kept eating, not ice cream, not milk, not a steak, specifically cheese. And so we started looking at cheese to try to figure out why people get hooked on this one food. And it turns out there are three reasons. One, very high in salt. People like salty foods.
Right.
And let me give you some numbers here.
It doesn't taste salty.
It doesn't taste salty, does it? But here are the numbers. Potato chips are salty, right?
Yeah.
2 ounces of potato chips have 330 milligrams of sodium. 2 ounces of Velveeta have 800 milligrams of sodium.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on to your blood pressure. Number 2 is it's high in fat. Cheese is very fatty. And the fatty, salty combination, that's what gets us hooked on French fries or onion rings or things like that. But there's a third thing, and this blew us away when we first found it. There are actually opiates in cheese.
What? From where? Where does it come from?
The protein that's in milk is called casein. You've seen this on food labels, casein, casein. It's a main milk protein.
Okay.
Well, when it digests in your digestive tract, it releases these tiny little opiate molecules that get into your blood. They attach to the brain, to the exact same brain receptors that heroin or morphine would attach to. And when you turn milk into cheese, you concentrate that protein. So if milk is a little bit addicting, cheese is much more addicting, and some people call it dairy crack.
So
I'm not
Oh,
saying-
my
Wow.
All right, so would I be right in assuming that means butter is kind of in the same family? Just get rid of butter, too? I mean, real butter.
Well, it's a good idea to get away from butter, but people tend the addicting food seems to be more the cheese. And the question is why? Why would that be? Why would Mother Nature pack opiate chemicals into milk? And the reason we believe, have you ever looked at a baby breastfeeding? They have this tremendous look of intensity, and then they collapse into sleep afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
And we think of this as the beauty of the mother-infant bond. I hate to tell you, you just drugged the kid. So, in other words, what we think is that these of opiates add to the milk, and so that the mother, in providing breast milk, is giving protein and sugar and fat and some hormones, but also a little bit of feel-good that helps the baby bond with the mother. At least that's the explanation that's been offered. But in cheese, it's concentrated, and so if a person says, I can't get away from it, even though I'm gaining weight and feeling crummy, we believe that it actually is a little bit addicting.
All right, back up a little bit. I wanted to hear more about the group that you did the study with. Now, you said they had to be vegetarians or vegans?
When, in 2003, the National Institutes of Health gave us a grant to test a vegan diet for type 2 diabetes. And so a vegan diet, for people who are unfamiliar with this, it doesn't mean you're from the planet Vegas. It means a totally plant-based diet.
Right.
No meat, no dairy, no eggs. And it works phenomenally. People lose weight without calories, and their cholesterols fall, and their diabetes gets a whole lot better. And it was in the source of that, in the course of doing that study, that we found that people would often crave the cheese for often a few weeks before the cravings went away.
But did the good stuff happen? Did they lose the weight? Did the diabetes go away? Did other things change?
Not if they didn't get away from the cheese.
Okay, but if they did, if they got away,
when you go on a plant-based diet, it is the most powerful diet change that we know of, and the improvement in blood sugar control was better than typical oral diabetes medications. It's very powerful. Don't get me wrong. You still need medical care in some cases. I don't mean to tell people they should throw their pills in the trash.
No, right.
But what I do mean to say is that it's a terrific way to go, and not just for the things that we've talked about. But I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl, but Tom Brady is the winningest quarterback ever.
Right.
Says, how much cheese do you want me to eat? 0. He won't touch it. He won't touch any dairy products. And it's not because he's watching his figure. In his case, the problem is inflammation. If you've got sore joints, like rheumatoid arthritis, that's caused in many cases by your body reacting to something you ate.
So let me ask you a question about cheese. If I were to stop This is so hard, Rob. but if I were to stop cheese and milk and all dairy products, but I really didn't become a vegan, if I still did, I don't do too much meat, but I do eggs. Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, what would happen? I mean, would I see results or not exactly?
That's a good switch, and the more that people do, the better off it is. But I have to say, there is something to be said for giving yourself even a short experience going 100% vegan, and there are two reasons for that. And in fact, if you wanted to try this, here's what I would suggest you do. Take just a week. Look at the cheese trap, and you'll see the recipes in it are free of animal products. And don't change anything you're eating. Just look at the recipes and see if there are certain ones that appeal to you. Or we'll talk about how to go to Subway and have the sandwich that doesn't have the cheese and meat on it. So you take a week, you experiment with what your options are, and after a week, you'll know. Then take 21 days, 3 weeks. Do it all vegan all the time. No long-term resolution. But what you discover at the end of that time is two things. Number one, you are losing weight without even trying. And if you had diabetes and you checked your blood sugars, they're getting better. Your joints are better, your digestion is better, your thinking is clearer. If you have migraines, you've got a good shot that you don't have them anymore. You'll notice your skin starts to look better. No, I don't mean to say that everyone gets all these benefits, but what I do mean to say is that these are very common. But the second thing, beyond the physical changes, your tastes are starting to change. And you find you don't want the unhealthy foods anymore. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, if you say, well, I'm just going to do this on Monday and Thursday, then you never get the bad foods out of your taste buds.
No, I really want to try this. I really want to try this. Okay, so let me make something clear. I can go to Subway. I can still have the bread?
Yes. What you do is you say to them, give me a foot long or whatever it is, pick your bread, and then have them put on the lettuce and the tomato and the cucumbers and the spinach and the olives and the red wine vinegar. Have them toast it for you. They'll call it Veggie Delight. It's cheaper than anything else on the menu, but it's great. It's good. It's filling, and you don't have to be afraid of bread or carbs. You can eat as much of that as you want to.
What about the vitamin B that we've spoken to people before about the vegan diet, and they say you have to take a vitamin B supplement, right? Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Or a shot.
You are a good host. You are very knowledgeable. You can do that. You don't need me. There is a vitamin. There is a vitamin. It's called vitamin B12, and you need it for healthy nerves and healthy blood. And it's the one vitamin. It's not made by plants or by animals. It's actually made by bacteria. And people will say, whether this is true or not, they'll say before the advent of modern hygiene, the bacteria in the soil, on plants, whatever, maybe even in our mouths, would give us a little bit of B12 we need. Meat eaters get some B12 because the bacteria in a cow's intestinal tract make it. But if you're going vegan, take it. In fact, even if you're not, people should take a B12 supplement, which every health food store has.
And that's it. That's it. Just take the B12 and you're fine. And
not only are you fine, you are going to have you're getting more vitamins.
Where?
When people go to a vegan diet, their nutrition improves. They're all wondering, will I get adequate nutrition? The fact is, you're getting better nutrition than you're getting now. You get plenty of protein, you get plenty of minerals, your vitamins and so forth goes way, way up. But there's one other thing that I want to make sure that you know about. There's one thing you are not going to get on a vegan diet, and that is you're not going to get the hormones that are in milk. And this is a shocker for people. To make milk, a cow has to be pregnant. And so the dairy farmer impregnates the cow every year. Not personally, but arranges to have
dairy cows are pregnant?
all dairy cows are impregnated every year. And that means they give birth about 9 months later. Most of the year they are pregnant. A pregnant cow makes a lot of estrogen, specifically estradiol. It goes into their blood and it passes into the milk. Researchers in Australia brought in a large group of women, and some of them drank milk, some of them did not. Those who drank milk had higher levels of these female sex hormones in their blood that we presume came from the cow. Well, you don't want a cow's sex hormones in your blood. And researchers in Rochester, New York, went into a fertility clinic. The men consuming the most cheese had the worst sperm counts, the lowest sperm counts. In other words, what we think is happening
I'm giving up cheese. I don't know why I want more sperm, but I'm giving up cheese.
I am not arguing for more fertility, let me be clear. But we've got plenty of that already. But what I am saying is that what you said in the introduction, I think, was absolutely spot on, that milk was designed by nature for a baby, and so it has protein, it has sugar, it has fat, it has a sprinkling of hormones, and after weaning, you're not exposed to this. So you wouldn't worry, is cheese going to give me breast cancer because of the hormones? Or if I'm a man, am I going to end up with fertility issues or prostate cancer or these other things that are linked to milk? Because nature never thought that an adult would drink milk. And so my job as a doctor is to say, I know we grew up with it, but when we break out of the cheese trap, I'm calling the book that for a reason, because you can break out of this trap, you can lose weight, your energy can get better, your migraines may go away, your joints will feel better. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't have lots of recipes and food ideas, and I can make you the bang-up greatest cheesecake without even a drop of dairy in it.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's in the book?
We've got everything from fettuccine Alfredo to ravioli to if you want, let's say you want to have a cheese platter. I'm going to show you how you can do that without any dairy at all. So in fact, I've written a lot of other books, and there's kind of a theme of don't do this, don't do that. This is the first book I've ever written that people say, this is fun, because you're trying new tastes, you're trying new products at the store, and of course you're feeling more energetic and you're feeling better too.
I'm going to try this, Robin. What are we having for lunch today? Subway?
Well, I got leftover pizza.
Oh, we got leftover pizza.
But we'll have to save it for another day.
By the way, that's really important. Here's what you do with pizza, or what I would do with pizza. Let's say you got the kids coming over, and they're used to cheesy pizza, but what you do is you let the kids pick all their regular toppings, and they're all going to have healthy choices. So this one might get the black olives, this one gets the green olives, this one gets the onion, somebody else gets the pepper, whatever. But you say, this is not a cheese pizza. Throw on extra sauce if you want to, and throw on all the toppings that you want. And then our secret ingredient is called Nutritional yeast. I don't know if you ever saw it. Did they sell it?
I don't know.
You go to the health food store, in the supplement aisle, you have to elbow your way past all the bodybuilders, because nutritional yeast is very, very high in protein, has no fat. But by some quirk of nature, it tastes just like cheese. So you sprinkle that on the pizza. There's not a drop of cheese on there. You get all the taste, none of the regrets. And in the afternoon, you find that your kids aren't feeling sleepy and crummy because they didn't have this big fatty meal.
One quick question before we wrap it up. If I have a baked potato, I don't put butter on it. Can I put margarine on it? There's no dairy in that.
Margarine has the advantage of it skips the saturated fat, and it skips a lot of the sodium. But I think you can do better. I would experiment with different other toppings, like little Dijon mustard and black pepper or salsa or other kinds of things. What happens over time is that your taste buds sort of accommodate to that lower and lower and lower fat content, and then you discover you just don't want it anymore. It's like, did you ever switch from whole milk to skim?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. Yeah. It was horrible.
First, it's awful. At first, it's horrible. But then after about a month, you're adapted, and if you go back to whole milk, you can't drink that anymore. So do a vegan diet. After about a month, I promise you'll say, this is the greatest thing ever, and you won't want the stuff that
Doctor, I've been listening very, very carefully. I'm going to take your advice. Robin, you watch.
Okay.
Sorry about the leftover pizza.
No pizza today.
I know.
Going in the garbage.
I want to stay in touch with you, Doctor. I have a copy of the Cheese Trap. Go online. What's a good website, Doctor?
Well, if you go to Amazon, here's what I would ask you to do, and ask all the listeners to do. Get a copy of the Cheese Trap on Amazon, but there's a feature on Amazon where you can give it to someone else. There is somebody you know who's not listening to today's program. They are having trouble losing their weight, losing that excess weight, and their joints hurt, and their skin is bad, and so forth. Give this to them, and you're going to change their life.
All right, so go to Amazon, and let me give the one I have away. I'm going to buy my own copy. I'll probably get it on Kindle. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
It's Deborah.
Deborah, do you know where we are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's got your name on it, and they'll be waiting for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think you got everybody's attention, Doctor. Dr. Neal Barnard, thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
Well, thank you. You're a terrific host. Let's do this show again. I want to see how 21 Days on a Vegan Diet goes.
All right, so we'll have to get in touch with Donna, and she'll hate me because she loves sending me to Subway. Subway. Okay. All right.
You can be at Subway every single day of your life.
All right.
Tell them I sent you.
All right. Well, I'm glad bread is okay. So many people tell us bread's horrible. All right. Cheese is the thing. Cheese and dairy. Thank you, Doctor. We will be right back.
Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid. I think the 1971 SE was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone remembers the first time they saw one, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury, the unparalleled safety, the performance, and the style Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years.